Magic morning moves, my friends. Yes, we are going to move. This is an active practice. And I think it's so precious that within this big world of different yoga postures and breathing practices, we can really choose depending on what we need and what most supports us. So today's session is focused on a more energizing, more uplifting effect. So if you are looking for a session to help you feel a little bit more vibrant, present, and alive, this is it. We'll start standing today, and props are really optional. So if there are a couple of things that you'd like to have around in your practice, please bring them in. And we'll start standing. And I want to invite you to start by checking in with your own body a little. So if in fact you are just getting up out of bed, there might just be some movements that are really unique to what you need in your body. So those could be little shoulder rolls or some movements in the hips, or I often like starting out by shaking out different parts in my body. So it could be shaking out the hands and wrists or checking in with your legs. So why don't you take a few more moments to really have that little conversation with your own body to see what do we need to almost step into that readiness for your yoga practice this morning. Yeah? All right. Now we're going to start with a movement and breathing practice called the breath of joy. And I'll just briefly show you the movements before we bring that into a little bit more of a flow. But the arms will come forward to about shoulder height. They come out to your sides. They reach up towards the ceiling. And then from there, we're bending both knees and dropping the arms down and back. Okay, let's start again. Just the movement, arms forward, arms out. Arms up, and let the knees bend and drop your arms back. Now here's the breathing part. We'll inhale 3 times with these arm movements. A short breath in, a second short breath in, a third breath in, and then we'll exhale out the mouth, dropping the arms back. All right, so I'll step to the front of the mat. We'll connect that all a little bit more and join in as you feel ready. Arms down by your sides. So with these in-breaths, make sure that each of these 3 inhalations is really small. It's this feeling of just sipping in a little bit of air with each short breath. And then as you're exhaling, opening the mouth. And finding a momentum here that feels easy, that feels sustainable. And I'm going to give you a little bit more time to keep on repeating this. 3 short in-breaths and 1 big exhalation. Just 3 more. Last one. And then take a moment to let those movements kind of wind down, slowly coming back to neutral, maybe following up with another big breath in. And exhale, let that go. Our feet are hip width apart, the toes pointing forward. And then from here, arms by your sides. We'll take arms out to that T shape, shoulder height. The arms reach up towards the ceiling, and I'll have you interlace your fingers with your index fingers pointing up. And then looking for lots and lots of length through the body. So lifting up through the rib cage, the chest, and if you like, you can even add a slight back bend. And then open your arms and let your body fold forward and all the way down, letting the head drop, and possibly bending the knees a little so that upper body can fold a bit more easily. The hands press against the shins. We'll lift up into that flat back, nice long spine, looking forward, and fold back over your legs, letting the head drop. Let arms come out. Take one deep in breath as you come back up to stand. And exhale, let arms come down by your sides. Now, a similar breathing here in that we start with 3 short in-breaths. Inhale, let arms come out. Inhale, let arms come up. Inhale, lengthen your spine, stand a little taller, and then go ahead and take your time to exhale as your body folds forward and down. Hands against the shins, breathe in, look up. And breathe out to fold back over the legs. Let arms open, lift from your chest, come up with that long spine. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, let arms come down by your sides. Again, 3 short in-breaths. Inhale, arms out. Inhale, arms up. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold forward and all the way down. Coming back into your flat back to breathe in. And breathe out to fold. Let arms come out, again focusing on this deep, deep, deep breath in as you come up. Exhale, let arms lower back down. We'll try a couple more rounds. Tiny breath in. Second breath in. Third breath in as you lengthen and lift, and exhale, 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 fold. Let your spine lengthen into that flat back. And exhale, fold back over your legs. The arms open. Take a deep in-breath. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, arms down. One last round. Inhale, arms out. Inhale, arms up. Inhale, lengthen and reach back a bit. And then exhale, fold forward and all the way down again. Lengthen through the spine, lifting up. And exhale, fold back over the legs, the arms open, the chest lifts. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And exhale, hands to your heart this time. Maybe taking just a brief moment to check in. There may already be a slight shift in your energy level or that sense of alertness that might come forward a bit more. Yeah. Inhale one more time. And exhale. Now I like stepping my feet a little wider to step into a warrior 1. So my right foot stays at the front of the mat. My left foot steps back. I'm creating quite a bit of width left and right, mostly to help me feel a little more stable here. Feet flat on the ground, the hips oriented forward. And arms start by just being long by your sides. We'll take a slow breath in, letting arms come forward and all the way up. That same sense of lifting and reaching. And if you like, even creating that slight back bend here. And then bend your front knee, keep looking forward and open the chest as the arms reach back. And we'll repeat that. Take a breath in and either look forward, or if balance feels steady here, you may even look up. And exhale, bend the front knee, let the arms reach back. 3 more of those. Breathing in, find that long spine. And breathe out, open the chest and bend the front knee. Inhale as arms reach up. And exhale as arms reach back. One last time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. This time we'll linger in that warrior 1. And I'll invite you to explore the chest opening and back bend that's happening here. So the arms could reach up a little higher if you like. You may interlace your hands behind your back. Yeah, you may lift your gaze and find a bit more opening through the throat if that feels good. And we'll linger for just another 3 slow breaths here. Yeah. Feeling the body a little more here now. Just one last breath. And then let go, step feet to the front of the mat, and then take that moment again for yourself to see maybe the legs want to shake out a little, maybe the shoulders need a couple of rolls. And then we'll come into that second side, so left foot stays, right foot steps back, the hips square to the front of the mat, the back heel down but toes pointed forward at a slight angle, and arms long by your sides. Let's start slow to maybe still adjust the feet as needed in this first round, but arms come up, that lengthening and elongating through the spine, and maybe even a slight leaning back. And then go ahead and bend your front knee, the palms turn forward, the chest opens. We're looking to inhale as the arms reach up. And slowly exhale as the arms come back. Yeah, we'll do 3 more of those. And what's interesting here now is not necessarily to rush through it, but rather to capture these really deep and intentional breaths as a way to energize our system a little more. Yeah, try that just one last time. Inhale. And then exhale, this time stay. Feel free to explore, just your own way with it. So we're still drawing from this posture group of back bends and chest openings, but within that, feel free to make some small changes. And then we'll briefly pause, connecting with the breath, and noticing what's here just a little more. Inhale one more time. Yeah. Exhale, let that go. Step your feet together and check in with your body once again. Yeah. We'll breathe in, arms come out and all the way up this time, clasping the hands just as we did earlier. Stand nice and tall. Maybe I'll turn around for that. And this time find a little bit of a lateral bend. So basically just letting fingertips kind of point over to the side just a bit. Yeah. See if you can come back to those more deliberate breaths. Feeling, noticing your breathing just a little more. Inhale one more time. Exhale out. And then make your way back through center. See if you can lengthen through the spine. And then lean a little over to your right side or the opposite side. Yeah. Pause. Yeah, no need to force anything along. I'd rather have you linger where you can breathe and really focus on these deeper and longer breaths a little bit more. Noticing sensations in the body. Waking up that capacity to be present and aware, attentive to what's here now. Yeah. Inhale, come on back to center. And this time, take a quick look. We're coming forward initially, not into that full forward fold, just about halfway forward. And I'm going to invite you to just dangle your arms from side to side. So there's been a lot of work through the shoulders and just using that movement to release the shoulders and upper back a little more. And then from here, yes, go ahead and let your hands come down to the floor a little further, possibly bending the knees a bit more. Focusing especially on the muscles in the upper body, releasing and letting go for a moment. Yeah, your shoulders, your upper back, your mid back, even your neck. Take another breath in and out. Now I'm stepping my feet back to come to tabletop and eventually to lie all the way down on the belly. And I'll just give you a moment there. You may initially start out with the hands below your forehead. We'll take a couple more breaths just to really land here, bringing awareness to the support of the floor. Noticing perhaps a slightly different quality or feel in your breathing now. Yeah, take just one more breath. Good. Now we're going to place our hands right in line with our face, left and right of our face. My elbows and forearms are on the ground, but pretty close to my body. So I'm really pulling my elbows in towards me. The forehead is on the ground to begin with, so the neck is nice and long. And we'll start small, lifting the face off the ground, the chest, and then you may give just a tiny little bit of a push into the hands, lifting up just a bit higher. Now notice my shoulders are pulling down and away from the ears. And then immediately lower down and let your forehead come onto the mat. And we're going to work with a little repetition here. So see if you can inhale, squeeze your elbows in, press into the hands just a little, and then exhale, lower back down. Yeah, breathing in as you're lifting up, and breathing out as you're letting that go. Now, of course, as is always the case, these movements and postures feel so different in each different body. Some bodies really enjoy that deep spinal extension, and as you continue with the repetition, you may even lift up a little higher over time. Some bodies are really tender there when it comes to bending backwards. So I invite you to really listen. And even if you keep the movement very, very small, keep focusing on your breath. Now, I'm even going to sprinkle in the option to either stay with the movement, or if you like, you may eventually lift up. Perhaps your elbows are even pretty straight. Drawing the shoulders down and then lingering in that cobra for a few deep breaths. Yeah, so either keep on moving and repeating, or to briefly linger. Yeah, we'll take just a couple more breaths with it. And then slowly lower yourself back down. We'll briefly pause with hands back under the forehead, relaxing the neck. Releasing the back, maybe even noticing sensations in the arms and shoulders. Inhale here. And exhale. With the hands below the shoulders, we'll come back into a downward facing dog, but you're welcome to pass through your tabletop position, placing knees under hips, Hands under shoulders, and then curl your toes under and lift the hips up high. Yeah, now my preferred way of being here, definitely with the beginning of coming into down dog, is actually keeping the knees bent. Focusing on a long spine, this feeling of the sits bones pulling back and up. Yeah, belly and the front of the thighs pull a bit closer towards each other here. Now as you're settling in, I invite you to turn towards your breathing again as you feel ready. And get a sense for your whole rib cage moving with your breath. Like almost picturing your rib cage as this basket, and we're noticing expansion through the front, the sides, and the back. Yeah. And take just another 3 of these deep breaths. Here comes Speedy. Inhale one more time. And then lower your knees down and come into a child's pose. Really just to take the weight of the wrists and the shoulders. Making a bit of a transition here. Greeting your cat. Yeah. Inhale. And exhale. All right, friends, we're going to continue coming onto our back. And of course, if you'd like to bring a blanket or some support into that, you're welcome to. And then lie down. Taking a moment to, just wiggle in, maybe adjusting props, making yourself comfortable here. Yeah. And then from here, we're going to go ahead to straighten the left leg onto the mat. Draw your right knee into your chest. Take a breath in, even pausing in those transitions just for a moment. And then we'll take that into a twist, meaning taking the right knee all the way across the midline of the body. If the knee doesn't come all the way down to the ground, perhaps consider a cushion or a yoga block underneath, and then let your right arm open. Same here, if it's floating, feel free to add some support. As you're settling in, I'll invite you to turn towards your breath once again. In this practice, with this intention to energize and, I want to say, enliven our body a little bit more, I would suggest to really focus on your in-breaths, really getting a sense for that feeling of expansion and openness that you're creating with your in-breaths. And we'll linger for just 3 more of those deep breaths. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly return onto your back. Maybe to center your hips and shoulders, adjust the body as needed, and then bring your right leg onto the mat. Draw your left knee in towards you. And pause, just a breath or two. Yeah. And then go ahead and take your knee across and maybe exploring any props for a little support here as needed. Yeah. Now what I want to kind of draw your attention to towards these last few minutes of our session is that energizing or uplifting or kind of revitalizing our body does not always necessarily mean speed. Okay, I see a lot of yoga practices that have this really fast pace, and yes, they can be helpful in that context, but not necessarily. So though we're in that slowing down, see if you can stay really aware of your breathing. And if you like, you may even take that slow and intentional breath in and then hold your breath for just like a split second, almost just like this little period at the end of the sentence. And then slowly release that. And try that just a couple more times. Slow but intentional breath in. Hold for just a split second. And let it go. One last time, deep breath in. Pausing. And a slow breath out. Great. We'll return onto our back, centering hips, shoulders, straightening the legs this time. And though we're giving our body just a very brief integration here, the arms can be by your sides. I want to continue to explore that breathing element with you a little bit more. And very similar to what we did in the beginning of our session, there was this theme of breathing in 3 times before exhaling. Okay. And we're going to try that here. We're going to take 3 in-breaths, 1 into the belly, 1 into the rib cage, 1 into the chest, followed by 1 long exhalation. Okay. So as you feel ready, I invite you to take just 1 normal breath in. Exhale all the air out, empty the lungs completely. And then take a very small breath into the lower belly. Take a second breath into the rib cage. Take a third breath into the upper chest. And then slowly begin exhaling, releasing the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Take just 1 normal breath in, little reset. Exhale all the air out. We'll start again, slow breath into the lower belly. Inhale into the rib cage. Inhale into the upper chest. Slowly breathe out, releasing chest, rib cage, and belly. Follow up with a natural breath in. And exhale out. And we'll try that just one more time. Inhale into the lower belly. Inhale into the rib cage. Inhale into the upper chest. And then slowly exhale, exhale, exhale. Return to your normal breathing. And in this just final short pause, I want to see if you can draw attention to, that sense of activation in your nervous system, feeling a little more awake, right? The part of you that's a little more alert. But also on a more energetic level, you might notice some tingling, some buzzing, some vibration kind of sensation throughout different places in your body. And by noticing it, by actually letting yourself become more aware of the impact or the changes of your practice today, in some ways, that's where we also get to receive those gifts just a bit more. Yeah, let's take just another breath in and out. And then as you feel ready, bend your knees, roll to your side. Make your way up to sit. Yeah. I hope that was helpful and you feel, just that sense of readiness to start your day. Thank you for joining. Namaste.